How is it going, everyone? We are coming up on the release of one of the most anticipated games of the year. Resident Evil Requiem will be dropping in just over a week as of the recording of this video. It'll be out February the 27th, and in this video, I want to give you guys some key information that you should know before you spend your $70 or $80 on Resident Evil Requiem's Deluxe Edition. Now, this is not going to be a deep dive into the trailer, story speculation, or anything like that. I just want to give you guys some of the general overview, gameplay details, things that Capcom have said specifically themselves. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation and a lot of questions as far as where the story is going to go. That's something that you can uncover when the game is officially out. Before we get into the core of this video, I do want to note that this is going to be the first Resident Evil title that is priced at $70. If you are looking to play this game on PC and Steam, our friends over at Green Man Gaming have the game slashed 18% off for $57.39. This is for the standard edition, and then the deluxe edition is discounted as well, 18% off. You will get a Steam code for the game. It'll redeem directly on Steam, and you'll be good to go. So if you do want the game a little bit cheaper, link in the description box below. You won't pay tax either. We get an affiliate kickback, which is much appreciated as far as that's concerned. But yes, Resident Evil Requiem is out February 27th, and it is the latest mainline title as far as a Resident Evil game is concerned after we got the Resident Evil 4 remake in 2023. Obviously, we had the Ethan titles with Resident Evil Village as well as Resident Evil 7, and now we are bringing Leon back into the fold, and of course, Grace is going to be a playable character. It's Leon and Grace, two distinct gameplay styles, which we'll cover in depth as well. Resident Evil Requiem notes a new era of survival horror arrives with Resident Evil Requiem, the latest and most immersive entry yet in the iconic Resident Evil series. Experience terrifying survival horror with FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft and dive into pulse-pounding action with legendary agent Leon S. Kennedy. Leon is one of the most beloved Resident Evil characters in the history of the series, and one of the breakout titles in the franchise. Resident Evil 4 featured Leon as the main character, and that game did take Resident Evil into a more action-y approach, so that dichotomy of having the Grace sections and the Leon sections, where the Grace sections look to be more of that survival horror, methodical approach to game design, and Leon is still gonna retain that action-heavy approach that people have gotten familiar with. That has the potential to be something that very much complements each style of play and caters towards everybody in terms of what they want out of a game like this, and offers something to both of those audiences. Both of their journeys and unique gameplay styles intertwine into a heart-stopping, emotional experience that'll chill you to the core, and that's one of the core aspects of this game as well. While Grace and Leon are going to have this different gameplay focus, how you play in the Grace sections are going to influence the Leon sections and vice versa, and those experiences are going to intertwine and complement one another. The game does highlight Raccoon City return once again to the city of disaster and despair, a Midwestern city in the United States and the headquarters for the former global pharmaceutical company Umbrella. In the face of the zombie outbreak in 1998, the government approved a sterilization operation, a missile strike on the city in an attempt to quickly bring the situation under control, but this was swiftly covered up. Grace and Leon are two of the core characters, but there are going to be a plethora of others. Grace Ashcroft is an intelligence analyst for the FBI who demonstrates intense focus and insight into deductive reasoning and analysis. Her mother's death shook her to the soul, making her an introvert who immerses herself in her work, so she heads to the abandoned hotel alone to investigate this mysterious death. And then, of course, you've got Leon S. Kennedy, one of the survivors of the Raccoon City incident with a strong sense of justice and physical capabilities to match. He has responded to numerous outbreaks since that fateful day. Now, as a seasoned DSO agent combating bioterrorism, he has returned to investigate the latest string of deaths in the Midwest. Those two characters are going to be core to the gameplay style of the game, but there are other characters that have been highlighted as well. You've got Alyssa Ashcroft, a survivor of the Raccoon City incident, and Grace's mother. She was a reporter when the original outbreak occurred. She's a strong-willed, determined woman who carried on with her journalism even after the Raccoon City incident, continuing to dig into the truth behind Umbrella until... Then you've got Nathan Dempsey, Grace's supervisor at the FBI. Though he knows that Grace is still haunted by the death of her mother, he has entrusted her with investigating the recent string of deaths. You've got Emily, a young girl Grace finds trapped within the care center. She is extremely pale and skinny. And then you do have Victor Gideon, the primary suspect in the strange deaths plaguing the United States. Sources indicate he once specialized in T-virus research at the Umbrella Corporation, the pharmaceutical company at the heart of the Raccoon City incident. Raccoon City is going to be at the heart of the story of the game, and it does feature thrilling locations such as the zombie-infested Chronic Care Center and the dilapidated, missile-scarred remains of Raccoon City. What unspeakable horrors lie in wait for Grace and Leon. And again, with the two protagonists of Grace and Leon, you've got that dichotomy in gameplay style as well. Experience the series' classic survival horror through combat, investigations, puzzles, and resource management. Gameplay allows you to freely switch between first and third-person views to face the horrors in a way that suits your playstyle. And you'll be able to swap between first person and third person anytime while playing the game, and that'll offer a layer as well. More insight into the gameplay and story. FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft and legendary DSO agent Leon Kennedy star as the dual protagonists of Resident Evil Requiem, offering players a unique combination of death-defying action and spine-tingling survival horror. As revealed previously, both protagonists will be playable in first person for deeper immersion and third person perspective for more dynamic action, swappable at any point during the game. You can definitely see that first person with Grace is going to be something I think a lot of people gravitate to have that more immersive, methodical, survival horror-esque experience. And then when you talk about Leon's more action-heavy approach sections, that's probably going to be a haven to go third person. Leon, experienced in both hand-to-hand combat and firearms, is investigating a series of suspicious deaths. While navigating this deadly situation, he's able to wield a wide variety of weapons and execute close-quarters combat maneuvers with the all-new hatchet. Perfect Leon's skills as you time your moves to parry enemy attacks, turn the tables as you attack with the chainsaw seized from an enemy, and pull off exhilarating finishing moves to deliver the final blow. Then you have Grace. Grace begins her survival journey in a sanatorium overrun with zombies, requiring fierce judgment when deciding which enemies to fight and which to avoid. Limited resources and carrying capacity force the player to make critical decisions that can mean life or death. Acquiring a special device allows Grace to craft vital items using infected blood, unlocking the opportunity to diversify your attack strategies. The Requiem Assault Revolver is going to be a special nod to the game's name. It's a custom gun boasting immense power and will likely be your last resort for survival. With limited ammo, will you use it right away or save your ammo for the horrors ahead? The zombies is something that they've highlighted quite often in having more death. The zombies in this game have lost their minds. However, some seem fixated on the actions from their lives before death. This is a point of the zombie design that's been reiterated as far as where zombies are performing the same tasks with how they would in their previous life. A chef obsessed with cooking, a singer who keeps singing, a janitor who polishes mirrors endlessly. Could you exploit their behaviors to outmaneuver them, adding another layer to the gameplay? Elpis is the key word that connects everything. The death of Grace's mother, Alyssa Ashcroft, Grace's own past, and the story connected to Leon. It's up to you, the player, to unravel the mystery that leads to the truth behind the events depicted in Resident Evil Requiem. And for those of you that do want a more casual approach, or if you do want to go all in, you will have a wide variety of difficulty options to pick from. Players can choose from multiple difficulties when experiencing the horror and action. You've got a casual component that'll have aim assist, plus more forgiving player health and enemy durability. Now, the standard component heightens the tension, requiring ink ribbons for each save while playing as Grace, demanding strategy not only in resource management, but also when to save. That's gonna be something I think a lot of people gravitate to. At the same time, I think other people are going to want to move away from that and play it on the more casual, approachable way. However you want to play it, that'll be up to you. The game is going to feature some of your key Resident Evil elements. Inventory management is going to be a big aspect of the game, and then on top of that, how you interact with inventory management is going to differentiate depending on which character you play at and how they interact with inventory management. A section that was handed to preview sections, Leon's storage boasted a 7x10 grid case similar to that in Resident Evil 4. You'll be able to organize, rotate, and auto-sort your weapon, very similar to how you would do it. However, Grace begins with a classic 8-slot inventory system, similar to that in Resident Evil 2. That's going to require multiple trips to item storage boxes and seeking special packs to expand capacity, again, adding another layer to the more survival-oriented approach of that. Leon has upgraded from a combat knife to a combat hatchet this time around. R1 or the right bumper will be pulling up Leon's new melee weapon, which can be used similarly to the knife in the Resident Evil 4 remake. That's going to do your melee damage, and you can also use it for parries. Leon's hatchet is also available for brutal finishes during combat. The weaponized wedge can also be used to perform stealth takedowns, similar to the covert tactics available in the Resident Evil 4 remake. Item crafting is also going to be there, whereas Grace has a new crafting mechanic that requires collecting blood from enemies in the environment. Leon's is going to be more so on the traditional side of things. He's going to be able to collect scrap, gunpowder, and other materials to create new items and ammo, as in the Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4 remake. You'll feel right at home on that. As far as Grace is concerned, that collectible blood is going to be a key aspect to her crafting capabilities as well. A lot of this is going to seem familiar to those of you that have played Resident Evil in the past, especially the Leon sections. I think the Grace sections is paying homage to some of the older Resident Evil titles, and again, that more methodical, slower-paced approach is going to be right up the alley of a lot of you guys. Remember that Resident Evil Requiem is coming out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and it will be arriving on Nintendo Switch 2. And based on the Nintendo Switch 2 footage we've seen thus far, looking pretty good as far as that's concerned. As of the recording of this video, we do have minimum and recommended PC system requirements that I want to take you guys through. Minimum, it's going to be the Intel Core i5-8500 and the Ryzen 5 3500, 16 gigs of RAM and a GTX 1660 and an RX 5500 XT. Recommended is an Intel Core i7-8700 and a Ryzen 5 5500, 16 gigs of RAM and RTX 2060 Super or a Radeon RX 6600. Just assessing it from the system requirements, it does seem like this will be a game that'll be playable on the Steam Deck, although, again, as of the recording of this video, they haven't put out an official verification on that. Hopefully, we'll get some more insight on that in the coming days ahead of the release of the game. The physical release is your standard $70 on all platforms. The standard edition will be $70. There was a deluxe edition with a steelbook. As of the recording of this video, that seems to be sold out everywhere, so a little bit of a bummer if you did want to pick that up, but you can still get the standard edition. There is an Amazon exclusive standard edition as well if you do want to check that out. There's a double-sided poster with that, and you can pick that up directly from Amazon. But if you are looking to pick it up on PC, but our friends at Green Man Gaming will have the hookup for the standard edition, and then if you do want the deluxe edition, it'll be available on all platforms for $80, but GMG will have that at $65.59. And with the deluxe edition, you will get 5 separate costumes for Grace. You'll get 4 weapon skins as well. You'll get 2 screen filters, 2 charms, an audio pack, and you'll get files, letters from 1998 as well. And on top of that, both the standard edition and the deluxe edition will get a pre-order bonus. You'll get a costume for Grace. That is the Apocalypse costume, so that's for pre-ordering either edition of the game. Again, this is one of the most anticipated games of the year. Capcom has been on a hot streak with the Resident Evil titles after the success of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Then you're talking about RE2 Remake. I know the RE3 Remake wasn't as well received, but then you look at Village, you look at the Resident Evil 4 Remake. More often than not, they've been pretty damn consistent. Even the RE3 remake was pretty decent, all things considered. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know your excitement level for Resident Evil Requiem. Check out the link to GMG in the description box below. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.